What's up you guys, welcome back to my channel. I haven't done a sit down video in a while. As you guys know, I've been doing a lot of vlogs recently, so I decided to ask you guys on Instagram to ask me questions and we would just do a classic Q&A. Before we get started, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Adam & Eve. You guys know Adam & Eve is one of my favorite websites and brands to work with because they are just so on brand for me. They are an adult website and they have so many different toys and just special items. They're so inclusive. They have such a huge variety of stuff. Their packaging is very discreet. It doesn't say Adam & Eve on the box, so no one has to know what you're ordering. And you can use my code for 50% off an item plus free shipping in the US and Canada. So I would definitely recommend that you guys go check it out if you haven't already. They're just the best. It's just, I have no complaints, like only good things to say about them. So definitely check them out, links down below. Today for my beverages, I have a water over there as well as a vegan protein green smoothie and a cold brew. So comment down below what your beverages of the day are. Also, my hair is annoying me so much. If you watch my vlog where I'm talking about my hair, like, this is giving me a headache. I was trying to be cute and different, but I just can't do it. This is a really good question to start things off. How do you feel in your growing an ass journey? I feel stuck in mine. Any tips? So ever since quarantine, ever since the gyms shut down, I haven't been able to lift heavy. And at first, if you watch my vlogs, I definitely had a lot of anxiety at the beginning of quarantine about that because I just feel like I've worked really hard to get my body to the way that it is, or I guess the way that it was. I don't know if I should put a trigger warning, like if, I don't know, talking about weight or losing weight is triggering to you, don't watch this part. But I will say that for myself, I feel like I have lost weight through quarantine, and I don't say that in like a hee-hee way because, you know, everyone has different goals. Some people's goal is to lose weight, some people's goal is to gain weight. If you know me, you know that I was like always going to the gym before the pandemic, lifting heavy, trying to just grow my legs, grow my butt, whatever, because that's always just been like an insecurity of mine. So I will say that I feel like I've lost weight because I'm just doing a lot more cardio now, not lifting heavy, and with that my appetite isn't as big, so I feel like I'm just eating less in general, like I'm just less hungry. But I feel like through this, I feel like I actually like how I look more now, even though I am a little bit skinnier, and that was like kind of like scary for me before because I just was always bullied like my whole life for just being skinny, and I know it's like different, it was just always like an insecurity. But I feel like through this, it's like I've kind of learned to accept just like my body type. And with that, I will say that it's not like all of your gains are just gonna go away, especially if you are still like working out. It was crazy because I had kind of been thinking this, and then I watched an old vlog from like last year, and I just felt like my face was, I don't want to say like a lot bigger, but it was like I noticed it. Like I feel like now I don't know, I feel more snatched. I feel like my arms are more like toned. I feel like I have more abs now. I got a little more waist, and I actually kind of like it. I was just so scared of that before. I didn't really do that much cardio because I was like, I just don't want to, like, no. So with that being said, and I've said this, but I'm interested and excited for when gyms do open up to, you know, start lifting heavy again, but then also like have all of this newfound knowledge about, you know, my body image and I guess just what works the best for my body and my body type. I didn't necessarily need to have that anxiety. Like it's fine. Like we're however many months into the gyms being closed here, at least. I know they're open elsewhere, but here they're not. And you know, it's fine. So does that answer your question? How do you feel? Yeah, I feel stuck in mine. I would say the main things that helped me is mind muscle connection and just eating more. This is a funny question. Remember when you always used to say same? Will she make a 2020 comeback? I feel like I'm always going through phases with like words or like little phrases. I definitely still say same, not to the extent that I did in 2015, but it's still like if you see something funny you have to say like same or like me, like relatable. I've just always been like that. Like ever since I was a little kid, I've just always had like a word that I am obsessed with, or like a little phrase that I just always say, and then I get over it and there's a new one. But let me know if you remember the same day. You're like OG if you watched me back then. How did you meet Bidney? I feel like we have answered this and I have talked about it, but in case you don't know, we had a mutual friend and she brought me to Bidney's birthday. Like I didn't even know Bidney, but our mutual friend was like, do you want to come to this girl's birthday with me? I was like, say less. And basically we just got really lit and me and Bidney became friends. We didn't really start hanging out though until we all went to New York, and that was when we really like obviously spent days
together, and we just really fucked with each other, and honestly we never looked back. What do you do to try to stay off your phone? I feel like personally I don't really try. I feel like I just try to be mindful of how I'm using my phone, because bitch, first of all, it's a pandemic, so it's like, yeah, I could read my book or whatever, but like sometimes it's just like, what else is there to do? I want to stay connected with people because it's not like I'm seeing all the people that I would normally see. So I'm on social media, I'm on my iMessage, you know. Second of all, my job is social media, so it's not like I'm trying to make my screen time 1 hour, because that's unrealistic for me. I'm here to make bread, okay? But third, lastly, I think, yeah, just being mindful of how I'm using my phone. If I find that I'm just like grabbing it for no reason and just like mindlessly scrolling, I feel like I'm at a point now where I'm able to recognize that, and then I'll be like, okay, I need to put it down. Because if I'm not doing something, I don't even want to say productive, but if I'm not doing something worth my time, like, okay, I could be doing something else. Like, why do I feel the urge? Why do I feel this boredom? Like, what do I need to do? Sometimes when I'm scrolling through TikTok, it's like I am staying updated on like trends, and I'm having lulls, and like it's entertainment. And sometimes on TikTok or Twitter or whatever, it's like I'm literally just scrolling because I just like want dopamine, and like that's it. And that is when I put my phone down. So just like know the difference. Have you ever ran into or seen a celebrity since moving to LA? Yeah, because it's just kind of regular. Like, you know, you see people at the club, you see people at a restaurant. It's just like, I feel like especially with social media, it's just like everyone's a celebrity. Like, I talked about this on my podcast, but almost like the downfall of celebrity culture, or just how much more the general population can see that celebrities are just like normal people, both in the sense like in a positive way, like, oh, someone can literally just like be on IG talking to you, versus like they're being interviewed on TV or you only see them in a magazine. But then also like people's mistakes are a lot more broadcasted now, and so I feel like a lot of people understand now that it's not like celebrities are like so cool. Like, it's like you're literally just people like us. You need to get over yourself and your ego and shut the fuck up. But let me know if you can relate. You know, it's just like literally anyone can be a celebrity these days. I just feel like, I don't know, people just like fall off so quick. People get popular so quick. It's just like, who cares? How old are you? I am 22 years old, which is so random, just because I feel like a teen. I was talking to Bidney about something, and I was like, yeah, like all the teens are gonna be there, like referring to like me and my friends, like our friends. And she's like, we're not in our teens. And I was like, and especially most of my friends are like almost 30, you know? So it's like, oh. But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, we're just like the young teens, you know? Like there's adults and then there's like us. No, I'm an adult. Y'all are adults. Like, that's like a weird realization. And it just kind of, bro, it's like, imagine if you could go back to your childhood with the knowledge that you know now. I feel like that's so like cliche. Like, I don't know. Not that specific phrasing of it, but like, imagine if I knew then what I knew now. But like literally, like, it's not like there's this magical age where you're just an adult. Like, nobody knows anything. I feel like I would just have so much more confidence as a kid, because it's like, I don't know, I just remember always being like scared of being yelled at, or like teachers being mad at me. And like now, bitch, oh my god. Someone says benefits of the single life. Let me tell y'all, I feel like if this was a few years ago, or like when I was in high school, I would tell you guys something like, focus on yourself, self-love, self-growth. And that's also true, but like, I feel like as I have become more of a woman, and as I have experienced more and read more, learned more, I've realized that my perspective, it's still that, obviously, like self-love, that's never gonna be like, oh, I used to think that, I don't anymore. But I feel like alongside those viewpoints are just the dynamics of, I guess, like roles in a relationship for like cis het men and cis het women, and just how much of marriage, and I've talked about this so much on my podcast, so if you know, you know, but just how so much of marriage and relationships and being someone's wife or girlfriend, and how it's like, since we're literally little ass kids, babies watching Disney movies, like, I want this fairy tale wedding, like, oh my god, and how it's like, oh, I'm a failure if I'm single, I'm a failure if I'm this age and not married or don't have kids. We're just really, it's so ingrained in our brains as women that our goal and role in life is to be a wife and to be a mother, and to like not be a slut, not be a hoe. Like, why would you be a crazy cat lady? Why would you be an old maid? And it's like a scam, because in the end, like, relationships, particularly marriage, they just benefit the man so much more. You know, women have to do so much emotional labor in most relationships, and so much domestic unpaid labor,
and you know, men are just, you know, it's like, oh, I just want a good wife will just cook and clean and take care of the kids, and I just want to go to work and then I want to hang out with my bros and I just get to be a man child. You know, that's kind of like typical. And I know someone is gonna say, well, not my man, and it's like, good for you, but we're talking about like the structure of patriarchy, not your own personal relationship. I don't know, you're talking about society, okay? We live in one. And then also, the more that I educate myself and learn, the more I realize that so many straight guys are just so homophobic, transphobic, misogynistic. Like, just because you're nice to me doesn't mean you respect women. So I just feel like I would be so embarrassed and ashamed of myself to like call someone my man if he had those viewpoints. And I just feel like so many guys do in one way or another. Like, it always comes out, you know, you're like vibing with a guy and then they just say something like homophobic and you're like, oh. So that also just really motivates me to be single. Or like a guy will say something about hoes and you're like, I have actually tried to do all of this, like, you know, unpacking of like what it means to be a hoe versus a wife, and like I've just tried to teach myself like that's like fake, to put it lightly, and you're just gonna go ahead and like just disregard all of that, and I have to like just be okay with that because I'd rather have that than being alone. So once I started thinking of it like that, it's like, yeah, dating can be fun, having a little crush can be fun, but to take myself out of the game, first of all, bitch, someone would just have to be like so popping on every level, like, and I just feel like that's really rare in a straight guy. So yeah, once you think about it like that, it's like, I can't even get my feelings hurt by you because you're literally an idiot. Like, you're going with these old ass like ways of thinking. You haven't read a book, you don't have a skincare routine, you don't go to bed at a reasonable time, you still believe in hoes versus wives, you're homophobic, like you don't wash your ass, like what? Let me have some self-respect, to be honest. Anyway, that's my reason. Rant, bro, rant hours, like, but it's just so true. And once you start like recognizing that, learning about it and viewing it, you start seeing it in all these YouTube couples, all these celebrity couples, you know, in real life, like, wow, yeah, this is my wife, this is my YouTube wife, and then he's like cheating on her. Or like the girl is just like always cooking and cleaning in the vlogs and the guy doesn't do anything, and it's just like, I don't want that. Like, yeah, you guys look cute in a photo on Instagram, but that doesn't mean that like that's goals in real life. Dude, you just have to like really think about the whole thing, like, and you're just like, oh, I would honestly just rather like chill and like, yeah, you can date, you can flirt, whatever you want, but like you don't have to like assign your self-worth to like what a man thinks. A straight man, I'm like, oh. It's like, are you really gonna let your feelings be hurt? Which, like, your feelings are valid, and also so much of this is internalized, so it honestly takes a lot. Like, still to this day, I catch myself like oh my god, like the internalization, like I'm like, oh my god, this is misogyny. Shit's crazy. Anyway, hopefully that motivates you to block somebody today. Tips for getting over someone when you see them daily. Fuck my life. Dude, that sucks. I mean, I don't really know the context. Like, do you work with them? Like, I just don't really know. Other tips I can give you are like muting them on IG, start talking to someone else, TBH, like just distract yourself. And it's just like, you have to know that you can get over them. It just takes time. Time heals all, and heels hurt to walk in. People ask me this every Q&A. I swear to gosh, if you went back to school, do you know what you'd like to study? No. And I feel like, especially, like, no offense to anyone that's in school, especially during the pandemic, dude, like, what the heck? But I just feel like the pandemic has kind of exposed how much of college is a scam. And I'm not saying education is a scam, but just like how scammy colleges are and how much of a business they are. It's like, you're really gonna put students' lives at risk because like you want their coins, and like you're still gonna charge them. Like, you know, like college, like not education, not learning, but like the business, like we are here to make money. So to answer your question, no. Will you ever move out of LA? I honestly don't even know what I'm doing like next week, so I don't plan on it. People always ask me that too, but I just kind of feel like at this point, like, my life is here, so it's not like I'm thinking about it or considering it or like, let me just like research it. Like, I don't care, like, I'm good. It's a pandemic also, so that kind of puts like a, we don't know what the future holds even more. But right now though, I just feel like my life's here, so I'm not even really thinking about that. And I still I like that it's still close to home, to back home to like my parents and whatnot. So I just feel like it works for me. How to set boundaries to protect your energy and self-love and not feeling like a cold, bad person. This is something I've had to learn the hard way so many times. I just feel like it's always been just really hard for me. And what I've learned is that if I communicate my boundaries nicely and whoever it is, a friend, a guy, just somebody doesn't respect that, then I know that like good. Now I know not to fuck with you ever again. Because like real ones will listen to you and respect you and what you are and are not comfortable with. And I just feel like so often in the past I would be like scared to say, hey, I'm not cool with that, or oh, I don't want to go, or like, hey, it bothers me when this, or like whatever, out of fear that like they would not want to hang out with me anymore, or like reject me, or like whatever. But then it's like, if they do, then you just know that that wasn't a real one, so good riddance. So it's just a good like test. And I feel like it's just especially important to communicate boundaries at the beginning of a relationship, whether it's a friendship, someone you're dating, whatever. Will they respect it or not? The more I do that and push myself to do that, even if it makes me uncomfortable in the moment, the more I'm like likely to have just really solid friendships, because it just builds trust. You know, it's like, okay, I know that you're gonna respect me, so therefore I'm gonna respect you, versus just always like going around it or avoiding the question or avoiding speaking up. And it leads to resentment, and it just leads to beef, and it's just not good. Like that's something I've really had to learn the hard way. So yeah, it can be so scary and uncomfortable, but it's worth it, because then you know whether you should continue to have this person in your life or not. Kind of a win-win, like literally. How do you stay stress-free? I definitely don't. I feel like especially this year, it's just been so many ups and downs, you know, obviously in the world, but then also just like personally. And I just feel like also I have learned that it's okay. Like I just feel like I used to, especially like in middle school and high school, I've always like been one to read self-help books, and like it's always just been interesting to me. I just used to always like try to tell myself to be positive, and like that was the best thing. But not to say like be negative or like dwell or stew on things, but like it's okay to feel things. And if I'm feeling upset, or if I want to cry, or I feel angry, like that's just normal. And it doesn't mean that I'm like falling off, or like, oh, I'm ruining my manifestations. Like it's really normal to have emotions. You know, I'm not a sociopath, so it's okay. Cry, learn how to deal with your emotions in a healthy way, and then you can move on. I don't say stress-free, but I can manage my stress. I've learned to manage my stress. Advice for someone looking to move out for the first time, like things people should know. I feel like I did a video like this, but let me know if you guys want an updated one. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot that I could say, so let me know. I think that's all I'm going to answer for now. It's 222, bitch. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you want more videos like this. Don't forget to check out Adam and Eve. I will put all the links and the discount code down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone.